Hello and welcome. What's up, everybody? Come on in.
I'm so excited that we finally launched the new forum and the new training dashboard, because not only is it amazing and everyone loves it so far, but also I feel like we've been so in the weeds because it's such a big project. We can finally get back to implementing Kevin's vision, which is where all the magic happens. So
No, that's sweet. Yeah, it's true. Just to give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes, here's the big shock for me as now a business owner instead of a freelancer, firmly in my phase 7, I guess. Um, everything's hard to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything's hard to do when you have a big machine to move. I don't know if I've ever shared this analogy with publicly, Rachel. I say this to other business owners all the time, and they crack up because it's so true. Here's what it's like going from freelancer to business owner and growing a business. It's like now to do anything, it's like the business is a parade float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. We're Snoopy, right? And we're just hovering down Fifth Avenue there. And there's 12 of us. And then we all got a rope, and we got to keep Snoopy from floating away. And if there's high winds, it could be dangerous. And we got to get Snoopy around the corner. Slow going, but it's beautiful, Snoopy, and the kids love it, and it's exciting.
And you could never do it on your own.
But yeah, I used to be one dancer in the parade, and I had shiny sequins, and I was doing backflips, and they were like, well, look at that guy. He's having a blast. That guy's really dancing. And now I'm just one person holding the Snoopy float. And that's kind of what it's like going from freelancer to business owner. But and it used to frustrate me, but now I'm used to it, and I embrace it because it's just a different way to think. It's bigger planning. We're planning months ahead. We already know what the rest of our year looks like. But frankly, one of the things I've had to work on the most, and I think this is probably true for most entrepreneurs, especially if you have things simple at first and then you grow a team, is that you have to plan and you have to stick to the plan, and you have to do less things well instead of trying to do 100 things.
It's hard too for us creatives too, because we got all the ideas, right? And it's funny, as I've come on and gotten used to how we work together, it's always this balance between implementing all the great ideas you have and then the resources that we have available. Because you can do everything. I truly believe you can do everything. You just can't do it all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And then you realize that, wow, we want excellence. And we've done we've been through the clockwork system, where we find our queen bee role. If you guys are familiar with that, Mike McCallowitz book, and you and I are paying a lot of attention to EOS and what they teach in rocket fuel now, and how you and I work together as partners and plan stuff. And it's great because, once you embrace it, it's just still very busy, but it's a kind of a slower pace. We're not just constantly rushing stuff out, which is frankly what most of this year was like. And now we're like, enough of that. We're going to just set ourselves up with the tech. We're going to make sure our members are as well taken care of as they can be. That's job one for us. And then we're going to go out and invite new people in. And so that's what this whole change has been all about. You guys have hopefully all been logged in and settled in. I know a few people need to still get their photos up and stuff, but for anybody who's not a member of Copy Chief, or if you haven't logged in yet, let's take a look. Rachel, you want me to share my screen, or would you feel better being in control?
How about I share and you narrate? I'll drive the bus and you give the tour. How about that?
Since you literally babysat every inch of this new tech makeover. Awesome.
So let me get rid of my administrator window here.
They already want us to upgrade. So look at that. We got, so a lot of it's familiar. You see the new logo, and let's just stare up that real quick at the top. So community, all those menu items at the top have little drop downs. Just so you know, you can quickly go to the event calendar. A lot of it's on your main screen. And the key thing is, one of the big things we worked on so hard, and again, it seems like it'd be a simple thing, is single sign-on, SSO, because our goal is for you to be able to do this seamlessly, jump from the community to the training dashboard. And be able to, yeah. So
This is because I logged out and was logging in. This is not because it doesn't work.
The goal is for you not even to have to do that. But even if you do hit that screen, you can see that it's like 2 clicks and you're here. And Rachel, I want to just say, I've been playing a lot with it on mobile this week, and so cool because it works just the same. It's so easy to find the trainings. It's so easy to find the beat sheets if you want to just remember the format of how to do a certain training. Everything's right. So you got everything broken down, core copy skills. You got your money skills. So there's question authority, and it's like, okay, I've been through this training. I just need to remember what were those 33 questions that Kev has. And then you can open up the PDF and have it right there. It's just killer.
Yep.
And so if you want to go back, look at this. So here's all your beat sheets right here. And again, the reason beat sheets is taken from screenwriting, where the first thing they do is they just beat out the story. What are all the beats? What's the action? And once you have all that done, then you can start writing. And so I call these beat sheets because that's how I imagine we use them. That's how I use them, is like, okay, I know what I need is in that training, but I just basically need to remember the framework. And so the beat sheets are the trainings reduced to just the framework. So 60-second sales hook, literally like fill in the blank easy. We've even done this with bigger trainings, like some of the research trainings, which are pretty involved. We've done our best to simplify those so you just get the beats.
Yep.
And so here in the forum, again, it's everything we loved about the old place, and we just basically refreshed. I want to point out, by the way, I haven't even gone over to the archive yet, Rachel, but if anybody's nervous about, oh my God, what happened to all the stuff we built together over the last 6 years? You didn't lose any of it. It's in what we now call the archive. It'll be clearly marked with its own title at the top. And it's the same experience you had there, except you don't, the conversations are all closed because we, of course, want to have the new conversations over here. So for look, it's like moving for a month. There might be some awkwardness where you're like, I missed the old grocery store, but now it's like, oh, now I found a better grocery store up here. You know what I mean? It's like there's change takes patience and doing, but soon enough, we're going to feel like this is our home. How did we ever have it any other way? This is how we live now.
And we've got a couple of cool things that are new too, like these clubs. If you guys haven't seen them, these are even more intimate areas for you guys to come and hang out. So we've got this freelancer safe zone. So that's still there. If you haven't requested to join, that's for freelancers only. It's locked. We let people in manually so that we can make sure no clients slip through. Sorry, clients, got to hang out in the forums. But it's this private area that we're going to continue to build out, and you can see the members in there. You can share files in there. We're also going to have a private club for Copy Chief Live. And we've also got a new club now for local meetups, which is hilariously ironic that we launched this during the pandemic. But when it's safe, y'all can use the local member meetups club to, we've got a shiny new calendar where you can organize Zoom calls intermittently while you still can't meet up in person. But you can still organize Zoom calls.
Remember, birthdays come up in the calendar.
Yeah, birthdays.
And let's show the map, Rach, so everybody can.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's up here under the community menu here.
And it's not creepy level like Life 360 where they can literally see where you are. It's just like they can look at the map and see your town. And because in the old days, we if we wanted to help people have a meetup, we could only search by city. And if you like live in Dallas, your address might be Arlington, and we have to try to know all the small towns around Dallas it was impossible to get everybody. And so now you can literally just pull up the map.
My internet's not cooperating. Oh, there we go. I'm in a little lake house in upstate New York, and the internet's leaves a lot to be desired.
You're on.
There we go. Come on.
Rural router.
Yeah, exactly.
6 times fast.
Let's see if we can get it to come up here.
Cool. But you can imagine a map and it would show all the members.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, look at that. So it shows like, yeah, right. So you can go right into my area there, St. Pete. As we scroll in, we see, look, 3 people are like super close. I got one in Tampa, 2 of us in St. Pete. Look at that, Tom. Yeah, I've met Tommy. Tommy's coming to one of my comedy shows and we hung out. Kim is literally, I could walk to her house. I know Kim from our kids go to school together. That's where we first met. She's now not only in Copy Chief and a working freelance copywriter, but is in our accelerator program or coaching program. Cool. John's in Gainesville. I didn't know that. Like, awesome. So it's just, all of this is meant to just make the community stronger, bring us closer together, and it's only gonna get better from here. Oh, one other thing, Rachel, let's show. And I meant to do mine right before I came on this call and didn't get a chance. The profile pages.
Yeah, I just, mine needs some editing, but I did set it up so for our tutorials. And so we can take a
Cool.
look. We got the cover photo. Of course, you got your profile photo. So please set that up. And then this won't show up until you set it up. But once you go in here and go set up your profile, you'll be able to fill out this About Me section. And then this tab will appear and you have your own little personal sales page that you can fill out here. So mine's really short because I need to go in and spend some time in here, but you can actually build this out as your own personal sales page to pitch yourself and your services or your main offer. So that's really exciting.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
you could build it like a page. You could put photos, you could put videos, you can change fonts and colors. And so the goal here is to have you think about, it's like your own little shop inside of Copy Chief. I've always said, in the way Copy Chief, the way Copy Chief works so well, like a lot of members, you may not know this, a lot of members make a lot of money from Copy Chief every month. I don't think Alex would mind me sharing. She said on average, she makes about $7,000 a month from connections through Copy Chief. And I love that. It's organic. We don't try to control it. It's a simple rule. You kick ass in Copy Chief and people will want to give you money to work with them, to kick ass for them the way you may have kicked ass for them or someone else in the forum. So show up to the critiques. You know what I mean? Like, be a copywriter, show off. Even if you think there's more people with more experience, I always say, like, do what you do and only you can do it that way. 6'2" ray of sunshine. Yeah. So Alex doesn't even need a crazy, beautiful page. So she's getting the work. So point is, it's just a way to enhance that experience. If you have maybe you offer a critique and you have a special price for Copy Chief members, you could put that in there. What we also did is we limited the signatures because, frankly, one little pet peeve I was having in the old form was people's signatures were getting super long, and it's not a good look when you leave a small comment and your signature is 3 times as long as the comment. But sometimes you only need a small comment. It just looked weird. So now the signatures are nice and tight, and it leads. You should just link to your About page. Also, it's easy for somebody to click on and see all your recent activity, your postings. You could, I think, like stack out your postings in certain ways to showcase some of your best threads within Copy Chief.
Yep.
So this is like, it's our Facebook, it's our market. Look at Cindy, like, of course, went in and made hers badass, and
she's the best at. Look at this is beautiful.
Perfect. Exactly. There you go. I mean, this would all be more Cindy.
Exactly. She's the greatest at self-promotion, and it always is just like so poised, and it's a great example. So use Cindy as an example here. Yeah. And what's cool, Kev, is you can actually build out streams of activity too. So we've got my activity streams here, which I don't think I've set this up for my profile yet. But like you have a feed in Instagram or Facebook, without all the annoying algorithm control by the social media gods, you can actually set up your own stream of content in here by using this button here, so that when you log in, you can see a stream of content. And so you can kind of get that social media feel, but with curated content that you want. So they've got all these different options here for you to set that up. And that way you can control what you're keeping track of. And if you don't want to get a ton of notifications in your in your inbox when someone posts, but you want to be able to catch up quickly. You can create a stream, which is really cool. And you can also see all the unread content since you came in last, content that you've started. We've also got the top thread. So this is going to continue to build out in our leaderboard, which is cool. Look at Lisa.
You're ahead of me now. What's up?
Better catch up.
I was so ahead in the old place, man. I gave up a lot of cred. That's all right.
Got to keep you on your toes. But as what we call, like Reddit calls it upvoting, right? As you get more reactions on posts, this is the most popular content. Obviously right now it's all the new stuff as people are introducing themselves. But as we get those value bomb threads, those are going to show up right up top here, and you'll be able to see all the top content here. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we got several different ways. Again, in the old place, we could only like a post. Now, Rachel set up all these fun ratings, like, value bomb.
Yeah, thank you to the Badassers there. We've got mic drop.
Love that.
Which is awesome. It's like it actually drops the mic, which is
so
fun. Value bomb, you gotta love, thanks. So what's cool is these actually impact reputation points, which is super fun for that leaderboard. It's like a little bit of like friendly competition, but you also get on the leaderboard. So these guys here at the end, these ones are neutral, and then these ones are all positive, and we've only got one negative. But if you really dislike something, you can dislike it. But most of the stuff
that's why dislike is there. So it actually like shows us like people weren't happy with this post.
So you see the members' reputation, these actually impact that reputation.
Wow.
So get ready, next level. Yeah.
Woo! So now you got the power for a true community, and so yeah, use those like that. That's your power pellets, man. You hand those out lovingly and judiciously.
Yep. And on any of this stuff, Kev, we've got this cool new suggestion box. So as we talk about, Copy Chief is a community, but it's also a family, and we're building this new home together. So right in the general discussion forum, you can either click right from the homepage. It's really cool. You can see all the sub forums here from the homepage, but otherwise just go in here and scroll down to the suggestion box. And this is for you guys. So anything that you think would make this community even better, we want to hear from you. So please stick it in here. I'm following this. The Copy Chief team is. Kevin's going to see this. So whatever if you have ideas, stick them in here. We're watching.
Really important. Totally. So awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, there's so much. So just go in and click around and have fun. It really, I've been all week just going, ooh, like, I just keep coming across all this fun stuff. And it's just so smooth. The messages are great that you get when somebody leaves you a private message. Super easy. And again, I couldn't really, I guess I could before. It's just a lot clunkier. Just click it on my mobile phone if I see the email. And we're gonna start loading up some more tutorials about how to use it on mobile. But basically everything Rachel just showed you can do on mobile, like super easy. Yep. So enjoy. Okay, Rachel, I know you're super busy. Do you want to hang around for some of the critiques, or I know you've got writing to do and other stuff. So
well, we've got some pretty incredible copywriters here. So I say I'll step out and let Jimmy, and I think who else is on here? I saw
David Powers
Shaba,
here,
David Power. Why don't you guys jump in?
Melanie.
I'll jump out, and you guys can jump into critiques, and I'm going to go write some awesome stuff for November.
Spoken like a true boss lady. All right. I'll see you later on. Bye.
See ya.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So that's it. Any questions or anything about that? Like how to use the new place, or any concerns or anything about the archive, anything like that? Okay, good. And we're super, if you, this on the bottom of every page, there's contact us, goes right to our contact form on the website. And it's always super easy to reach us. You can always reply to emails as well to go right to support. So cool. All right, let's set up a panel for the critiques. Jimmy, are you good to come on? All right, let's get our buddy Jimmy here. I see some friends I haven't seen in a while, and it's great to have you here. Candice Lazar, great to see you. It's been a minute. I don't know if you'd like to come on for a critique. Candice, I'm putting you on the spot. You probably weren't planning to come on camera. But if you're up for it, I'd love to have you on and see you. It's been a minute. Yeah, Jimmy, everybody's talking about your background, and I'm going to have to rip you off. Give us a quick, I know you said your wife did this last time I asked you about this, you kind of blew it off, but now I'm thinking because everybody's reacting to it, like more thought went into this than you're letting on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had so many people asking me about this. I actually put together a little, I don't know what to call it. It's like a Google Photos album, including a video walking through it. So I'll drop that in the chat.
Oh, cool. I'll look at that. What kind of, is it just a DSL?
DSLR, yeah. So I got the Canon 80D because that's the Canon that can do autofocus in movie mode. Okay, so if I, with my, I got like the Costco special Canon T3 something or other, and it wouldn't autofocus depending on where I was. Well, this one will actually do that. So this is my actual background.
Right.
Yeah.
It's real. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
but
real.
But it always stays focused on your face. It seems pretty good at that. It's not going in and out. Yeah.
So that's really the beauty of the software that I'm using. So when COVID hit, Canon released this, it's called the EOS webcam utility. And so I just got one of those mini USB B or something like that. It's like a printer cable basically that plugs into the side of the camera, and it's just a USB right into my computer itself. Yeah. So, and it'll shoot it in, like, I think this camera will do 1080 at 60 frames a second. So
nice.
So yeah, it'll transfer that. And then the lens I got is, I guess it's called a pancake lens. It's a 50 millimeter pancake lens, so it's got that real shallow depth of field, so I can get this cool effect. But the downside is my camera has to be really far away from me. So my actual camera is like 7 feet away from me.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like way in the corner of the room.
So any number of your children could walk in front of it.
Yeah, it happens quite frequently. Luckily for you.
That's you've been working at home now, I never thought about when I was alone in the office how easy it was to shoot video. And now I'm always like, quiet on the set, everybody's like, oh my God, again, you got to record something, So awesome. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that. I will look for that sort of info sheet because I gotta step it up, man. You got it going on. Mm-hmm. Cool. Candice is going to come on and join us. This will be great.
Awesome.
And let's just do it. We'll leave it there for the moment so that we can all get some time in. We just got a couple today. Hi, Candice.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Hey, Jimmy. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's great to see you.
As well.
Give us the update. What's are new exciting things happening? I know you've been with Jeff Walker and his team for a while now as one of your main gigs.
Yeah, we've got some shifts going on the team, so I'm taking on a bit more over there, which is exciting. This year in general has been really good for the team and a good way to realize how much faster you can work than you think. Typically before this year, we used to take about 3 months-ish to plan his big launch. In April, we did a launch in 17 days. And so that's really informed how we've worked going forward. And now they're kind of in between. Our last launch took about a month. So we ended up, September, that's our big month. And now we've actually got another smaller one that we threw together pretty quick. And we put together a whole new nurturing sequence in between the two that took, about a month between the time that launch ended and today is the webinar that we're doing for our next one. So put that together and everything's great over there. And then I've got another client that I've been working with in the financial space that he's really had me primarily working as one of his financial analysts. Then he just asked me to start working with, start writing as a different analyst. So I'm doing some stuff to kind of check out his voice, do some of his voice analytic tools that Abby has given us over the years and thinking about how that's going to end up rolling out. So everything's great.
Great stuff. Well, congrats on the all the success. I know you've been working steady for a few years now. I forget which RFL you were in. One of the maybe
Or
4. Wow. Really?
2016.
Wow.
Yeah. And so your background's in as an attorney in law. Are you not doing any of that anymore? It's all
No, yeah, not really. It's helpful, certainly, and I use it, but yeah, as far as actually practicing law and giving legal advice, no.
not even consulting. Former life. Yeah.
I don't want the I just don't want that on me. I could be subject to professions or not. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want that responsibility. I would much rather be responsible for what the copy says and how it performs than for some, obscure clause in your contract. So.
Right. For sure. Yeah. Control.
Exactly.
A little control. Cool. All right. So let's dive in. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Candice. And so first up today is Kate Schell. Is Kate here by chance? She is not. All right. So this is great. We get to talk about people when they're not here, which is always easier. I'm kidding. No, but this will be helpful. Of course, by just the caveat we always give, I don't need to give it because we're all copywriters here. We're going fast and we're going direct. This is not about protecting feelings. We're not trying to be mean if it ever sounds that way. But, the reason you submit for critique is so that your caring peers can point out things that might hurt sales or anything else, because the potential buyers ain't ever going to be that polite and tell you why they didn't buy. So this is why we do this. And it's important for us to be direct. But whenever possible, we say, what if you did this instead, and not just say, well, that sucks. So, so let's start
and you know what?
Kate.
That's the key right there. What if? Because when you say what if, it's neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Not you have to do this, and suddenly I can accept that. I can accept a what if.
Yeah, I've learned to stop saying little things that I unconsciously would say, like what I would do, or as I would do it. Doesn't matter what I would do. Is this best for you, right? So you're right, Jimmy. What if is a much better. I got that from Joe Schroeder, actually, who I know you.
That's who I got it from. Yeah,
worked with. Yeah, it's a good rule. All right, so let's look. Here's our spreadsheet, and please go away, bar. All right, so this is Kate Schell. She is a copywriter, and this is her site. And the reason, the one thing she would like focus with is, I really appreciate help with nailing down my benefit-driven homepage headline, the attention-grabbing headline and subheadline. So I've had the advantage of looking at this a little bit. And so I'm just going to point out the things I see immediately above the fold. Mm-hmm. I love that I love that there's a nice big photo of you there, because I always like to see who is, asking me to work with them or, proposing. Good to see your face. So that's awesome. I think the photo is great. I love that you have like some design flair here. And I feel a little hypocritical saying this because your font is not that different than our fonts. However, it's fine with your name and up here, but you use it throughout the site, and my eyes get a little bugged out trying to read these with the big shadows. And it's a cool looking font. We only use it like in our logo. It's a different font, but it's similar. That's why I'm pointing that out. But it was hard for me to just read like, so who is your who? It doesn't smack me. It makes my eyes have to work to make out the word. So that, design wise, that's my biggest thing, is like, I would at least try reducing the shadows on these if you can.
It reminds me of the Coca-Cola logo, where if you were trying to read a sentence written in that Coca-Cola font, you'd have no idea what it's saying. But you can see the Coca-Cola logo and know exactly what it is, like the Copy Chief logo. You see it, you know what it is, and you're not actually reading it. It's more of a picture.
Just
you
for
know,
that,
you know what it means.
You identify it, right? But if we had it here, it would kind of be like it's also kind of like, dude, we get it. You like the font, right? It's let us read now. And so I get the instinct to have it be consistent and let that be your style, but I think it may be hurting in this instance. Also, again, nothing wrong with having maybe, but you've got a second font here. And again, anything that makes your eye read, I work hard to read is troublesome. So let's just go with what you asked for, since I gave you some unsolicited design advice, and my designer will tell you I am not a designer. So who is your who? I actually kind of like that. I think it's interesting, and it tells me, that what it says to me is that I would expect that you specialize in understanding my audience better, my avatar. Who is my who should be, who am I uniquely qualified to serve, which is a USP statement essentially. And that's really important to have nailed down. But what I found, Kate, as I read through some of the copy here, was you weren't backing that up a whole lot. It felt to me that most of what you were saying, it's kind of a lot of personality in your writing, funny ways to say thing. And it felt to me like you were like very focused on making sure that your style got across, and that you were, not going to write anything boring for people, which is good. So I guess this is on point. Your customers are out there. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to get to know them and figure out what they need help with, and then help them. Even better, you get to make a huge impact on people's lives with your expertise and awesome products. So that is good. That is on point. So I guess I'll take it back. Like, it does actually kind of back that up, what this is. But what I guess I would like to see is a little bit more evidence of how you do this. So it's cool that you've found this bat signal, but now I would want to see you like help me understand how you help me uniquely through this process to really understand my avatar, because I think it's kind of a common promise in the world of copywriting. What do you guys think?
I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that I think the who is your who could be a little bit more impactful. So where my eye went, I love alliteration. So I love marketing mind reader. I dig that. But my eye goes to the top and I see that you're a marketing mind reader, and then who is your who? And I thought, well, why doesn't she know? She's a mind reader. So there was that little disconnect. And then in the font, especially, which we already talked about, but I thought it felt a little Dr. Seussy. I was thinking of like Cindy Lou Who. I think that by the time you get to this page, and I'm not sure where your traffic comes from, Kate, but it seems like the person that comes here already has a certain amount of knowledge to understand what that question means. A lot of people would say, what do you mean, who is your who? And if they already know, then that's great. But I would love to see something for those people who don't necessarily know, who is your who and why you should care. Because otherwise, some people I think would look at that and say, I don't even understand what that sentence means.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. We'll get to the what ifs, I promise. Jimmy?
The way I'm trying to think, where do I start, right? So let's piggyback off of what Candice was saying. So one of the most important lessons that I learned from the world of what do they call it, infomercials, okay, is lots and lots and lots of demonstration.
Yeah.
And I feel like this would be a good case or a good place to use some kind of like meta demonstration, like, hey, I'm going to demonstrate my point by doing it right now. Okay. And so what I would like to see is if she could, all right, so if you think of your market as like, your market isn't the broad market, right? I like to use a metaphor of someone who fell in a hole, like the man in a hole story structure. They're stuck in a situation. Okay. And if you knew what that situation is, then you would know what your offer is. It's like, what is the rope or the ladder that you're throwing down that you can help them get out of it? And so I feel like if she could describe who that person is and describe their situation better than they could, in terms of what sucks right now or what they want right now, I feel like this top copy section, I would honestly just get rid of that and probably start with the next section. If you scroll down a little bit, I feel like that does a better job.
Yeah, agreed.
Mm-hmm.
This is getting to the pain and why I need this specific help.
Right. And above the fold is throat clearing.
Yeah, it's kind of again, it's personality driven, and I definitely appreciate that. But I think at the end of the day, Kate, we're talking to, you want to be attracting people who, like Jimmy and Candice have pointed out, who've got some knowledge about what's wrong. They sense that, okay, I'm not hitting the right audience. I'm missing the mark with who I'm putting these ads in front of, and my offers in front of. And for that, we need a little bit of evidence, like Jimmy said, some demonstration. So what if you moved this messaging higher up? And again, this may be a new endeavor here, but this all is about different ways they can work with you. These are your offers, essentially. But in order to get excited about taking you up on these, I think it would help for you to be able to show some case studies, some evidence. And this is what I always tell copywriters when they say, well, I'm new and I don't have case studies yet, or I'm not allowed to share some of the client work I've done. I say, use other people's. Just show that you have an eye for good versions of this and bad versions of this. Look for ads where you're like, why am I even getting this ad? Clearly, I wouldn't have this issue or want this product. So this is off the mark. This person's not speaking to their audience. Or maybe it's clear that they do know their audience, but their messaging is confusing or strange or off-putting, right? And then just show, here's how I might change this. Or here's an example of somebody who's really got this dialed in. Just that's enough to show your expertise in the beginning while you're collecting your own case studies. So if you could put some demonstration on here, I think that would be a big boost. And then, you know, think about your thoughts, make it real, your fonts, make it real readable. I would say my overall note for this site right now, Kate, is that you're asking me to take your word for it with everything you're saying. You're kind of showing me a lot of personality, and you're telling me why I need to have my audience dialed in better, but you're asking me to take your word for the fact that you can help me do it. And now if we take that to the next level and you show me how you think about this and can demonstrate literally with like circling stuff and arrows, and this is better than this, and here's why, then I'll see you as the expert and be much more compelled to hand over my dollars. Cool. Yeah. Everybody agree on that?
Yeah, if I'm going to add one more thing to that, it's know what you want them to do and why they're doing it. Okay, so like your call to action, you know, it's easy to fall into the mental trap of, you know, let's capture as many leads as we can. You know, I'm of the mindset of I'd rather have an email list of 100 perfect buyers than 100,000 whoever's. You know, so because you can make a whole lot more money with a whole lot less effort with super qualified ideal buyers than you can with just a bunch of nobodies. 100%. You know, so I would be doing a lot of qualifying on there.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, someone who does this really well, to look at an example, if he still has his work with me page up, is Chris Rosakowski. Mm-hmm. His languaging in Chris is a big personality, and he comes on a little strong for some people sometimes. But you want to read a guy who's like knows who should contact him and who shouldn't. It's very, very clear and how he describes what he does and for whom. So that's a great point, Jimmy. Like, just, you know, make them feel like they're lucky to have found you, and maybe a little less like you really want to be their new best friend, and more like, prove to me that you understand that you need this kind of help, and we'll have a talk about it. Orzakowski, O-R, yeah, thank you, Jimmy. Wow, that was fast. Yeah. Orzi Media is going to be his new site. He's got his own agency and everything now. All right, real quick, we're going to look at a 60-second sales hook next. This is Jan, who is in our, just joined our accelerator coaching group, and really good guy, an experienced copywriter, and trying to dial in his bat signal a bit. As it pertains to what Jan's superpower is says he's very good at coming up with hooks and sort of being able to match a good hook to an audience quickly. He calls it Minecrafting, I think. And it's just one of those things that he thought every copywriter could do. And then we'll read it, but had a conversation on a train with a guy once where he had the problem that he solves, and he solved it with him in like 15 minutes. And the guy was like, he'd seen a magic trick, and he's like, oh, wow, maybe there's something more to this than I realized. So it's a pretty interesting story. And let's just get our thoughts on how he's doing getting that across. So this is basically, kind of Jan's notes. And this is the outline of it. And I think this is kind of what he's asking us. So is the conversation with the stranger on a train relevant? I think maybe also this is some of the things I told him to contemplate. And so I think this is his current version of the 60-second sales hook. So since it's short, we'll read it. Hi, I'm Jan, a former marketing analyst turned direct response copywriter. During my first year writing copy, most of the clients I met were frustrated and perplexed about how to present their business in a unique way. They would spend hours on end trying to write even the shortest ad. All these ads had similar flaws that fit into the same patterns I began to define and categorize. A 10-minute conversation with a complete stranger on a train changed everything for me. As he told me about his business, I unconsciously created an ad, which I jotted down on a piece of paper and handed to him. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. It's something I do for clients every day, until I saw his eyes light up as he read my scribbled notes. He thanked me profusely as he left the train, amazed at the simplicity and speed with which I created his ad. He said it would have taken him hours or days to come up with something similar. It was then that I realized I had a gift to naturally create what even other copywriters struggle with, the ability to quickly envision an ad and the hook that goes with it. I took my knowledge and experience and developed a simple system to help others write winning Facebook ads quickly and easily. I call it Minecrafting. For years, I've shared my method for ad Minecrafting with my private clients, who are now able to create a hook and design an ad within 30 minutes or less without being a pro writer or having to rely on a complicated fill-in-the-blank template. If you'd like to see the Minecrafting formula in action so that you can put it to work, simply enter your email, and I'll see you on the next page. So overall, to me, pretty darn good. I think the story is interesting. I can kind of picture it happening. I think as a copywriter, we've all sort of had that moment where we do our thing for somebody, an unsuspecting friend, neighbor, and they're like, how did you do that? I could never come up with that. So it does tap into, I think, a genuine ability that copywriters have and may take for granted. I think the most helpful thing we can think through here for Jan is, does this get the gotta have it factor as far as, signing up, handing over an email for a free report? What do you guys think?
For me, it doesn't quite. I think it's a great story. I can see the benefit, but I definitely could use some more connection as to, why is it relevant to me as you're telling me this right now? Mm-hmm. At first I'm going the 10-minute conversation on it. Okay, wait, what? He's talking to this guy. Okay, now he realizes it's weird. Okay, great. He has a talent. What does that have to do with me?
So it doesn't make you turn into the, I think the discovery's cool, although we don't need the meeting with the stranger, honestly, to come up with the discovery in the traditional sense of the 60-second sales hook. The discovery, if you're looking to make this as short as possible, is like, that's where you show yourself in the lab relentlessly going, oh my God, how do I actually do this? Or how is this done better? And you, boop, 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 and there's smoking beakers and things. And finally you come up with it and it's magic. And now it's your proprietary thing, right? And so I think this is kind of a cool way to get that across. But what concerns me about it a little is that it's one instance with the person on a train, and we don't know what that guy did with those scribbled notes after that. Maybe he just had a fantasy for starting a business. So, I want to see some money, some actual result. And so for me, the part that needs a lot more oomph. And I think what you're saying too, Candice, is like, what's the result? How the gotta have it is going to come from. And when people apply this, it's not just, it's great that they can write an ad quickly, but what does the ad do once they put it out?
Exactly.
Jimmy?
Scroll up to the top for me, please.
Mhm.
Okay, so what is missing is the who. Who fell in that, to use that man in a hole metaphor again, who specifically fell in that hole, and what specifically is that hole for them? What is that situation that they're in that they can't get out of? And I feel like we're talking to a few different markets here, saying marketing analyst turned direct response copywriter. Okay, almost nobody in the world knows what a direct response copywriter is. It is like 1% of 1% of people actually know what that is, and it's usually copywriters. Okay, like I was in sales for years before I learned direct response copywriters were a thing. Okay, so from there it feels like we're talking to copywriters. Okay, but then in the struggle we're talking to clients.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we're talking to their situation of they didn't know how to present their business in a unique way. But then throughout the rest of the ad, we're talking about how to write ads quickly. Okay, and for copywriters, that's what I'm imagining is the offer is, hey, here's how to write an ad quickly. Okay, and it's kind of ambiguous, going a little bit all over the place and then going into like the Minecrafting, going back to helping clients again. And then the call to action is, if you want to see the formula that can write ads quickly. So I feel like it's darting back and forth. And so by the end, I'm even looking at it like, okay, this is interesting, but I'm not interested in being a client, but it looks like the call to action is showing me a formula, which if he's trying to get clients, that call to action isn't going to get him clients. He's going to end up attracting people who want the next formula, so yeah.
That's a really good point. So, yeah, and that's why I really love that you pointed out about direct response, because I have to admit, I'm guilty of just the curse of knowledge of adopting that phrase and thinking that, well, if somebody doesn't know what that is. I remember when I was starting Copy Chief, a lot of people I really respect were like, don't use the word copy because people don't know what that is. And I was like, that's kind of a qualification for me to give them value, is they need to know what copy is. So maybe that's a good dog whistle, but direct response copy. So what would you put here, Jimmy? What if he had sales copywriter?
I feel like, well, it depends on who he wants to get as a client, right? Because I agree, there is a time and a place where you want to use the dog whistle of copy, because it's hard to work with clients who don't know what a copywriter is, because then you have to go through that whole education process and show them how you work and all that stuff. So, it would make sense to use that, to attract clients that know what copy is. Okay, so on one hand, I would stick with it. On another hand, it depends on who he's talking to.
Well, I think it's relevant to your bigger point, which is there's no clear, and it's same thing Candice had pointed out. Who is your who? You need Kate. I need to put the two of you together. You're right. We're not clear on who's the avatar, and maybe that's what's missing, Jan, is maybe you're still a little. We all have that instinct to not want to go so narrow, right? That we rob ourselves. But so it looks like there's two markets here, because right now what you're going to attract, as Jimmy pointed out, is copywriters who go, "Oh, I want to write faster. Let's see."
Or I want this formula that I can download and get to my email inbox and never actually open.
Right, but none of them are going to hire you on their project. So if you're looking for clients, you need to. What if you did what, Jimmy? How would he switch it up to make it more attractive to clients?
When I'm looking at this, so the situation I see fairly often is marketing agency, or because I work with a lot of companies in like the VC venture capital, startup space. They'll hire a marketing agency, or they'll hire a copywriter, and they're very slow. And in the startup space, they're all about MVP, minimum viable product. Let's get something out there in testing. And agencies are the same way. Let's just get stuff out there in testing. And so they hire a copywriter who wants to go full blown, Gary Bencivenga and do 6 months, or, Paris and do like 6 months of research on something. And it takes them forever to get something just to test, so I feel like he could be talking to someone who, they want to hire an expert in copy, but they also want to get copy fast. Okay. And so what he could offer is an MVP ad for those people, or a set of MVP types of ads. Like, hey, I can get you an initial ad. Like most of us who are professionals, we can look at something, like we've been doing it so long, we can look at something and whip up an ad literally in 15 minutes.
Right.
And say like, this will be pretty close. This may not be on the bullseye, but it's at least going to be on the board.
Right.
And so he can put something together like that for them. Great. And I would absolutely charge a premium for that.
Yeah.
Because they're buying the timeliness of it.
Yeah. To be able to do it quick, but also like he says in the promise, to really understand the audience. And so it's sort of like he's fast tracking the normal process of doing all the research and getting out an ad, which if you do it the traditional way could take a month or more. Mm-hmm. Right. So that's a really great what if, Jimmy, and I think maybe that is kind of how Jan's thinking of it. And I'll ask him on our next coaching call, is as this is a lead magnet, by the way, somebody was asking. And the other one is that I think he wants to turn it into a step one service, and it's a perfect step one service because, if they hire him to just perform this thing, obviously it makes sense for them to trust him to write the bigger ads. Awesome. Right. Great stuff. Candice, I know you got to go and we're about to wrap anyway. So thank you, Jimmy and Candice, so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Please submit your ads for critique. If you're a copywriter, as you can see, like whatever you need help with, we're happy to look at and help you with. And go and enjoy the new Copy Chief, and please put up your photo and get your profile pages going, and let's make it our new home. So thanks everybody again. Jimmy, Candice, really appreciate you. Great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me on.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.